I mean, I like to get stuck in, and I'll go 100% every tackle. So I like chasing the ball, feeling like I'm hunting down a player or.
My personal favorite Adrian Rebollar moment was season 1 against El Paso.
I think one of my favorite moments for sure was when we played.
We got our hands on your high school transcript.
There you go.
What's up, guys? It's Chris Moulton, Andrew Martin. It's the Union Report. We're here for a very special episode. We are collaborating with Monterey Bay FC, and this is going to be a new series that we're doing. And our guest on the inaugural episode, none other than Adrian Rebollar. How are you today?
I'm great. It's a beautiful day out. Just finished training. Just got a nice bath, so legs feeling good.
Nice. I might have to jump in there afterwards. So, Adrian, wanted to kind of start off this interview just talking about your transformation as a player. Obviously, we saw you in year 1, and to now, the present day, it's been incredible to see your progression as an athlete and a soccer player. No one has grown as much as you have, in our opinion. And especially the things that we've noticed are your leverage, the way you use your body. Obviously, you're a little bit smaller guy, and you have no problem taking on huge guys. Is there some training that you did specifically for that?
I think overall the experience really helps. To really improve, you need to play the games. So, I've been, lucky enough to get a good amount of minutes, from my first year to now. And then just being consistent in the gym. I'm always trying to, get stronger. I think sometimes people will not think too much of me since I'm a little shorter, but I mean, I like to get stuck in, I'll go 100% every tackle. So I know that kind of catches people off guard. But yeah, I mean, also just, like I mentioned, every year, I'm trying to improve. Every day is a day to get better. Obviously, we have, all the coaching staff that helps us, on the field. We have Jordan, Jeremy, Manny helping us in the gym as well. So just kind of as a collective, I think, we're doing a good job, getting guys ready for the weekend and make sure that their bodies are right.
Awesome. Andrew, you have a question?
I sure do. So as a midfielder,
Yeah.
speed is obviously an important part of your game.
Yeah.
You mentioned the physicality that
Yeah,
you bring. How do you balance going between being on the attack and on defense? Like, how would you describe your style of play?
Yeah, I would say like relentless. I would describe myself like that. Going both forwards and backwards. Defending, attacking. Obviously, attacking is really fun. It's something that we always like to do. Try to score some goals, help the team. Get up the field. And honestly, I love to defend as well. I enjoy it. So for me, it's no issue. I like chasing the ball. Feeling like I'm hunting down a player or trying to stop them from scoring. So I get as much pleasure as going forward as helping out my teammates and just defending. So I would say
Must have had a lot of pleasure this weekend on Saturday with a goal against.
yeah. It's always great, and it's crazy because no matter from whatever age, every time you score, you still get that same feeling, really happy. So it's very hard to describe, but something that we always try to chase. And I think as long as we play, it's gonna be the same feeling. Doesn't matter what level. Just scoring, it's fun.
Nice. And so do you have a particular moment in your MBFC career that was like the most special moment for you?
I think one of my favorite moments for sure was when we played LAFC in the Open Cup. Obviously it was a tough result. Ended up, getting knocked out off PKs, from a PK shootout. But it was just really good to kind of get that tying goal in like the 89th minute. I remember it was Simon who scored. We went to overtime. We went up, and then they scored again. So we went to PKs, but just the atmosphere was really cool. Going up against MLS team, of course, and then obviously previously having played Earthquakes, and beating them. So I think overall that run, was really cool, and it just was really nice to be at home and see, all the fans, and it was so crazy while we were playing. The atmosphere was insane. So that was probably one of my favorite moments, I would have to say.
Yeah, no, definitely that atmosphere for that LAFC game. I know on the field it's one thing, but like where we sit, it's like, I mean, just
Yeah.
people crowded everywhere,
Yeah.
especially in the South when the PKs came up.
Right.
It's like I had people like over my head. Like
Yeah.
my personal favorite Adrian Rebollar moment was season 1 against El Paso. That banger you hit it was basically like a walk-off.
Yeah.
They blew the whistle just a minute late.
Yeah.
That was an exceptional
Yeah.
goal. So
Thank you. Thank you.
definitely.
Yeah.
Andrew?
Yeah, so family, I think, is a very important component of
course.
soccer. Players have that support of their families
Yeah.
as they're making their way through their careers. Fans coming out often with families. How important has your family been during your career? We see your family
Yeah.
in the stands. They sit here where we are.
Yeah. I mean, it means everything to me. I wouldn't be where I'm at, without them. They're my support system, since I was a little kid. They sacrifice a lot of their own time to be able to, accompany me to my games, tournaments, and stuff like that. So, I'll always be very thankful, for them, especially like I know as parents, I feel like they want to do that, spend their time, with their kids. But as far as like siblings, it also meant my sister having to take time out of, her childhood, being out there with me. So, I love them and I appreciate them, and to be able to play in front of them means the world to me, because I feel like the time and sacrifice kind of has paid off for them as well, to be able to come out here and enjoy the game, being able to watch me and just be a part of a community here. I know they always mention to me how they're, chatting to everybody, and they just after every game, they talk to me about a conversation they had with someone. So they're just as happy to be out there as I am. So, just support system, I would say.
Yeah, I love seeing your dad when
Yeah.
it comes to the game with the banners.
Yeah, so my family actually says that he always disappears in the game. So he'll be sitting down and they look over and he's gone. He's in the supporter section. So he loves music and like loud noises, so he'll be out there with the drums and people shouting and stuff. So no, I mean, I'm proud of them, and I know they're proud of me as well. So
That's awesome. Yeah, I sit in S1 and they're literally like 3 or 4 rows down from me, and I'm always like, run down, high fives, all that. So, Adrian, I wanted to ask you kind of about your impact in the community. Do you realize how much of an inspiration you are to young kids around the Central Coast?
yeah, I think, I'm at a point where I see that what people from this area, local people, like whatever they're doing. Obviously, for us, we're playing professionally. So obviously, if I'm around players, younger players, I think that I see how they look at us and think that they're able to achieve what they want to do as well. So I think that it's really important for me to be able to you know give back and kind of show them that they're able to do whatever they want to do, whether it's playing soccer or whatever like other aspect their career they want to pursue. But yeah, I mean, I think that I'm happy to be able to kind of be an example, and I hope that more players keep coming out from this area. um, every year we've had local players, so it's really cool to kind of be able to play with people that we grew up with as well. And it's not something that many people get to do, so I'm very grateful for that. From all the players who have been from this area, to be able to play with them.
Yeah, we actually, when we interviewed Joel Garcia, he talked a great deal about your influence on him and kind of how your style is what he's mimicking. So it's pretty neat just to think about how impactful you are, not only on the young, but even with your peers.
Yeah, no, I think that's what it's all about, surrounding yourself with people that are gonna, try to help you elevate your lifestyle, on the field and off the field, just overall trying to become a better person. So, it's really good to be surrounded by people like that, try to push you, to be better.
Definitely. Andrew?
Yeah, so not only obviously are you a local professional player, but
Yeah,
you grew up in Watsonville, you went
of
to
course.
college locally.
Yeah.
So you were a student athlete for a long time, and I think
Yeah.
that resonates with a lot of the younger fans in
Right.
particular. So as a student athlete, how did you balance doing well in school but also excelling in soccer?
For me personally, I enjoy school a lot. So I like going to class. I like doing homework and all that stuff. But of course, like my number one like priority was to play. But you know, here in the I think the US like soccer system it's a little what we see a little more is kind of going to college and then from there, you know, trying to go into the professional world. So obviously if you want to play in college, you need to do well in school. So obviously you got to take care of your classes, your academics first, and then obviously be able to play. But yeah, personally, like I said, I enjoyed going to school, enjoyed going to class. I think also in college, I was around my teammates a lot. You know, I was able to get, you know, have class with them and stuff like that. So always being able to help one another and just be around like a good group of people, you know.
Nice. Now, was there one particular player professionally
Yeah.
that as you were coming up, you kind of modeled your game after or you looked up to?
Yeah, I would say that not sort of like modeled my game after, but just someone that I looked up to was just Neymar, my favorite player.
Oh,
Just very like fearless. I think that's something that every soccer player, you know, wants to be is just be able to go on the field, not think about anything, just go out there and just do your thing. So yeah, definitely Neymar, you know, he's you know, fearless and stuff. So when I was growing up, he was playing like with Santos and stuff, so that's when I
okay.
started seeing him. He doing all these fancy skills, you know, had the hair, different color boots,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So, yeah, I would say him.
Okay, yeah, that's a flair guy
Yeah.
for sure. I see a lot more grittiness in your
Yeah, yeah,
as opposed to flair, but
yeah,
very cool.
yeah,
Andrew?
Yeah, so a question for the future is
yeah,
a subject that's been coming up in USL quite a bit this summer has been the topic of promotion and relegation that I think USL is hoping to
yeah,
have launched around 2028.
yeah.
Has there been much conversation between either your teammates or other folks that you know around the league about this, and what is the general thought about that?
Yeah, I think the closer we get to maybe that being a possibility, we'll start kind of having more conversation around it. Because obviously, right now it's sort of more of like a what if. So I think maybe that's why there hasn't been much conversation about it. But obviously, I think it'll be really cool, you know, to be able to for teams that are in lower divisions to go up, and then same thing for teams in upper divisions to kind of make sure that they're on top of their game and everything. But yeah,
Awesome. So you talked about you like to go to school
yeah.
as a student athlete. We got our hands on your high school
All right,
transcripts.
there you go.
No, I'm just kidding. It's actually an empty envelope, but it is back to school night
Yeah,
here at Cardinale Stadium. So we're going into the rapid fire
let's go.
segment here.
Let's go.
So to the best of your ability, answer these
All right.
questions as quickly as you can.
Okay.
Name every school you ever attended in order from the first to the
All right,
last.
yeah. So I Mesty Elementary School, then I went to Saba Middle School, Watson High School, and then Cal State Monterey Bay. Yeah.
Nice. Andrew?
What was your favorite subject in school?
Favorite subject was math. I graduated from Monterey Bay with a bachelor's in mathematics. So yeah, since I was young, I like numbers. I used to not like to read, but now I do. So.
Were you a lunch from home kid or like a hot lunch at school kid?
In elementary school, lunch from home for sure. Yeah,
Okay.
lunch from home.
Nice.
And what is the goat of school lunches?
School lunches. I don't know why at the top of my head from elementary school there was these like nachos that would come in. It was literally just beans and cheese and then a bag of chips. So I love beans, so I don't know why. I don't know why I like this so much. Yeah.
Was there a certain teacher or staff member that had a real impact on you anywhere in your time in school?
I think most recently what I could remember was in college when I had to I was gonna go play for the USL 2, and I had to leave a little early, a couple weeks early to be able to kind of go out there for the summer league. So for my professors to let me go out there, you know,
Yeah.
and finish do my finals out there and all that stuff when it wasn't online. So I would say them, you know, I appreciate them for helping me kind of take a next step in my career. Yeah, at the top of my head, I was
Nice.
When it came to getting ready for the start of school every year.
Yeah.
I know for me, I always needed that backpack, I
Yeah.
needed shoes. Were there any like must-have items for your?
I just like getting some really good pencils, and for some reason, I always had like colored notebooks that kind of went for every subject. So
Color coded, right?
yeah, like for me, math was always a red or a black notebook. For English, it was like green, and can't remember what else. I haven't been in school in a while, but
And I think that that's actually standard. I think that colors are associated with different subjects because
I think like yellow was like
red.
history or something like that. So
Exactly.
that's something I would look forward to.
I hated school. So did you get rides to school, or were you a bus kid?
I would get rides in elementary school. In middle school, sometimes I would get rides, or I could walk. You know, in middle school and high school, I could walk to class. Yeah.
Awesome, Andrew.
Yeah, and so looking back, if you had a time machine where you could transport yourself back to, say, elementary school, is there any advice that you would give to little Adrian about, life, footy, school?
Yeah, I would say just to enjoy everything. I think the older we get, the time kind of goes a little quicker. I could think back, I graduated from college, and it's about to be, at the end of this year, it'll be like 5 years or 4 years. So it goes by fast. I would just say enjoy it, wherever you're at, the little things, like just going out, hanging out with friends, grabbing a coffee, being out here in the field, all that stuff, spending time with family. So just enjoy it, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Adrian, we really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
It's back to school night this Saturday, 7 p.m. kickoff. We're taking on a team from Texas we don't want to talk about, but let's get 3 points.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, excited. Hope to see you guys out there.
Yeah.
All right.
Special thanks to Steven and Carlos and Kira and others for helping set this up as well.
Yes.
Excited to be part of this.
Awesome. Well, tune in next time, guys. We look forward to the next interview.